As politicians, central bankers, and regulators try to shield Canada's financial system from the fallout of COVID-19, Canadians may be getting increasingly concerned about their bank accounts. Our next guest helps protect the savings of Canadians, guarding deposits made to its member institutions, which include banks, loan companies, and federal credit unions. Peter Routledge is the president and CEO of the Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation and joins us this morning. Peter, thanks very much for being with us.
Thanks, John. Great to be here.
Obviously, people have so many questions these days. They have questions about their investments, their retirement, but also they have questions about their own bank accounts. Give us a sense, just a reminder to those who aren't quite familiar with how the CDIC works, what exactly it is that you do.
Right. So Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation, or CDIC, we exist to protect the savings of Canadians, the savings that they put into their bank deposits. We insure bank deposits up to $100,000 across 7 categories. So it's not just your checking account and your savings account. Separate categories exist for trust accounts, joint accounts with your partner, or kids, RRSP, TFSA, RRIF. So we have a wide array of deposit insurance coverage. And we 100% insure about 98% of Canadian savings. So if you're, so 98% of Canadians are completely insured by CDIC.
That's a helpful breakdown, and a lot of words get thrown around in uncertain times, even in describing what's happening in the markets. I remember one of our guests recently talking about a run on the bank kind of situation. People keep hearing about all these steps that central banks are taking to ensure there is liquidity in the system. And I think for some people that might raise that concern. Gosh, does that mean I should be thinking about going to my bank branch, taking some money out of my bank account because I'm concerned right now? I would imagine you've had to field some of those kind of questions, but what would you say to those people?
Well, I'd say a few things. First of all, your money is safest in a CDIC insured deposit. We've protected the deposits directly of about 2 million Canadians in the instances of 43 bank failures. So if your deposits are in a bank and in a bank account that is insured by CDIC, they're safe, and that's probably the safest place for them. If you need a little bit of extra walking around money in this environment, that's quite understandable. But beyond that, I think I'd tell everyone your deposits are safest when they're with CDIC, or with a bank that's insured by CDIC.
And you're talking about all the normal banks that people bank with in this country.
So yeah, we have about 86 insured institutions. You'll see if you see this purple lock on the front door of your institution or on their website, you know it's backed by CDIC. The insurance is there. You don't have to do anything to ensure it's there. By dint of having a deposit at one of our federally insured CDIC member institutions, you're insured. If something happens to the bank, we go find you. Or you can come call us and we'll work through it with you. So your deposits are safest. No one has ever lost a dollar on a bank deposit insured by CDIC.
Very, very helpful and important context, Peter. Maybe you could just run through some of the other common questions that you have been fielding recently. Might be helpful to our audience because it probably has some overlap with what they're wondering.
Well, I guess the most common question we get from Canadians is everything okay? It sure seems like there's a lot of volatility, and they're right. It is a little bit unsettling. But what I'd want Canadians to understand is there is immense resilience in the financial system in Canada. Resilience born of the last global financial crisis when we doubled and tripled liquidity buffers. Resilience born of our readiness as a system, and I think you've seen some of the actions taken by our partners at the Bank of Canada, at CMHC, and OSFI. All those actions are part of our planning for just these types of events. All those actions are really an indicator of the resilience of the system. This feels really volatile and unsettling. Our system is very, very resilient. CDIC exists as just a focused but necessary part of that resilience. So if folks start to feel a little bit worried about their bank deposits, remember, no one's ever lost a dollar when they've had their bank deposit insured by CDIC. And if you have your bank deposit at a member institution of CDIC, signified by the purple lock, you're protected. Up to $100,000 across 7 categories.
Peter, we only have about 20 seconds left, but we've talked so much about the frontline workers, people at grocery stores that are working so hard right now. What would you say very quickly about employees at the banks who obviously are feeling this stress themselves and trying to answer these questions for people who come in or call the phone lines right now?
Well, what I feel about is just immense gratitude for our partners at our member institutions and for their colleagues who are working and serving Canadians like we do. I thank all the folks who work at grocery stores and a big shout out to healthcare workers who are out there protecting us, just like we're trying to protect their savings, our Canadian savings. We've got healthcare workers, workers at grocery stores, workers at banks, and elsewhere trying to protect us. I'm proud to stand beside them and do that.
Indeed. All right, Peter, thanks very much for the update this morning. A lot of important learnings there. Peter Routledge, President and CEO of the Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation, joining us.